Next thing I'm going to fix is my turn signals. I took this little mechanism apart. It's not that hard. And I was under the dash tinkering, and I grabbed the turn signal lever and I broke the arm into two pieces that engages the turn signals. That used to look like that. But luckily, when I was in Tacoma, the fellow had all the parts that I needed cheap. So I bought the whole turn signal assembly. I bought 2 of them. And I've been tinkering with it, and I found out why my left turn signal is hard. I have to push the lever down. I polished up these little contacts here. See them? But that isn't what the thing is. There's a post there that it has to touch. And that post must have a touch of corrosion on it. That little post right there. That little post right there. So I'm going to pull the little contact off again and see if I can polish that post up. I wish I had a smaller pair of needle nose pliers. There it is, right there. Now that touches this when you when you twist the lever or crank on the lever, there's a little finger on the back that pushes against that. Take my word for it. And I polished these up last time, but my right turn signal was easy, but the left one I had to crank on it to get it to click. So I polished up these again, and then I looked at it more carefully and I said, oh, there's a little post there in the mix that I have to polish up as well. Let's get that done. Alright, I used my trusty screwdriver to polish up that post. I just scratched it as gently as I could. I got the key turned forward so I can burn up the points. And I'll just put a little bit of pressure on that. There goes my left turn signal. Just minimal pressure. And the other one, which is the right turn, was working fine. I also gave it a little love scrape. So I'll put it partially back together and test it again. Got the battery disconnected. See if I can make it work. Nice to have a turn signal that you don't have to force the lever down. Annoying. Alright, I got that tightened. You have to use a little bit in a 1/4 inch socket. One of those bent screwdrivers that you get in the toolkits that you never think would have any use would be good in there because there's barely enough clearance for the ratchet. I've run the collar down as far as I can and pulled this up as far as I can. The wires are binding over there. So I got that tightened. I got the sleeve on there to stop the horn from honking. I'll go and reconnect the battery. A couple times the horn started honking wildly. And let's see, right turn would be that way. That was working properly. Absolutely nothing. Left turn works. Now I've got no right turn. Did I forget to put a piece on? No, got all the little pieces. Oh, got to keep some pressure on it. Got to clean that post better. Okay. There's the problem. So I've got to take this off again and clean those contacts better. That post needs a little bit more brightening up. It only works when I put pressure on it. Well, there's the problem. How am I going to show you this now? I got to hold the camera in one hand. There's a little bit of blackness on this thingamajiggy here. Now all the cars are electronic. There's a little bit of blackness. Where'd it go? Right there. Right there. Kind of scratch it with the screwdriver a little bit. Polish her up. And that's why the turn signal needs a little extra pressure. Polished up those surfaces, but I missed the back. Yep. Details. All polished up. I just scratched it with the screwdriver. It's hard to focus that close. Now I'll just put it back in. See if I can set the camera here on the aftermarket. Oh, we gotta take it off macro. Alright, hang on a sec. I'll zoom in again. It's weird, if you zoom in and you start the movie, you can't unzoom. It gets set. Stay put, Joe, please. Oh boy, just barely pirouetting there. Fat fingers with multiple pairs of gloves on. Like I said, I wish I would have thought to bring a mini pair of needle nose. Let's see what happens. Oh, I've got to put the screw in first for that little turn signal gizmo. So give me a minute. Multiple little videos. Thank goodness for Movie Maker. Okay, finally got it. Put the battery back on again. And see if it works with it being in the detent position as opposed to me applying extra pressure. Left turn. Normally you have the lever acting. Nope. Don't have my right. And the horn's gonna start honking. Isn't that annoying? What am I missing here? Left turn. Right turn takes too much pressure. I'm missing something. I'll go back and polish everything up again. I must have missed something. This has been a frustrating experience. I took apart the other turn signal gizmo and I switched a couple parts, and I had the left one working well and the right one almost working perfectly, and I've been polishing things up and polishing the posts to try to bend things a little bit, and I had the left one working fine, and the right turn, hang on, I got it on macro, give me a second. The right one would only work sometimes. If I put a tiny bit of pressure on it, it would work. And if it was working, if I would just twiddle it a bit, it would stop working, which means that it was intermittent. So then I switched back to the original middle piece, and now it works. Right turn, and if I ease it off of the turn, it goes back on, which means the spring pressure in this little plastic gizmo is working properly. Oh, now it's not working. There we go. Barely stays on. The left one is your more important turn signal because you're crossing traffic, and that one, even if you release it a little bit, springs back, so it's anxious to work. Right side works. If you ease it away just a fraction, it stops working. Is that acceptable? I don't know. I don't know why it's so fussy. It's supposed to be hammer and chisel stuff, these old cars. I don't know. How many times can I take this thing apart and put it back together? That's what the turn signal does, it pushes those pieces together. It's got a little tab on the back, little finger right there. I suppose I'll put it back together and give it a try. Just take it all apart again. Finally got it working properly, and I was tightening it, and the trip lever came off a little bit, and I mangled the... Didn't mangle, I bent the little contact, so struggle with it again to get the angle just right. Anyways, finally got it. Finally. Left turn. Right turn. Finally. And still no four-way flashers. Oh well, that's next. It's all back together. It's still not working properly. My left turn works perfectly, but my right turn needs a bit of pressure. How frustrating is that? Guess I'll take it apart again, but then I had a little problem. I was tightening the screws that hold the plastic pieces together, and the head of one screw twisted off. It's still holding on because there's a bit of a washer under the head, or actually gets wider. The screw gets wider to hold the piece in place, but I gotta drill the frickin' screw now. Yeah, that's a screw head. Isn't that nice? Simple job. Simple job. Left turn is the more important one. How frustrating is that? Certain days you just don't want to work on things at all. Oh, beautiful sunset sky. We had rain the entire day yesterday. The first day it's rained in probably a month. I went up on the roof, looked at my roof job. So much water up there, it's terrible. I'm going to keep on doing some flashing and then remove the oil tank from the basement and put a new one in.